What is up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk of the Ring Show. If you don't know who I am, then that means you are not subscribed. And if you are not subscribed, you're going to miss so many great episodes, so make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. And guys, I know I played one of our old intros because, come on now, they're all great, but no, I'm just kidding. I am super excited for today's episode because I have not had a tag team on in so freaking long. So obviously we're going to have fun today. So let's give a warm welcome to DTF. Hello.
What's up, Harley? How we doing?
And let me just stop you real quick. We're probably the only tag team you'll probably ever need on here, just so you know. Not saying you need to know.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be the greatest anyways.
Thank you. At least you recognize that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, I just had Vince Torres on. Him and, Precious, they were. I love Precious, but as a tag team, I don't know.
Look.
Yeah, I heard your commentary on our match. You're definitely a Precious fan.
That is true. He brings up a good point, but I have respect for both of them. When it comes to tag teams, though, I would say probably DTF has their number, just saying.
Oh,
we did the last time.
That is true.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I always start with who or what got you guys into wrestling?
Kyle, you could take the floor.
Well, I mean, look, I've always been a fan of professional wrestling since, as young as can be, I guess. Maybe I probably started watching in general when I was maybe around like 6 or 7. I was definitely a smaller Kyle D. The thing was that actually got me into it was a mutual friend between the Fearless One and myself. Don, if you're watching by chance, hello. He has a passion for actually promoting wrestling. And he decided, you know what, I'm going to put my own show on. Greg and I, Fearless One, got involved with it. And the rest is kind of history. We fell in love with it instantly. Just always wanted to be around shows, especially like the local scene in the 570. Time just flies by with it. I mean, I remember that first show we put on like it was yesterday. I remember Joey Janela was, just kind of starting out at the time.
Very young.
Yeah, he was. Renee Michelle was there as well. It's just one of those things. It's funny to see where you were at a certain time in history and where everybody's at now. I just love this realm that we're in of professional wrestling.
No, absolutely.
Nice.
And funny enough, we have Dawn of Sports saying hello in the chat. So.
Oh, there he is.
Promoting the website.
Obviously.
As for me, as a fan, I used to watch a lot of Saturday morning cartoons. I'm from more like the 80s era. So flipping through, looking for different cartoons, the WWF used to have a morning show called The Superstars of Wrestling. Very popular show. Now, it was all taped, and they just kind of went up against squash, no-name guys and stuff. But as a little kid, I was very entertained by it, seeing like these characters, and it's kind of like a show. It's like a soap opera, so watching these characters get in there and fight each other, and I just got hooked watching that on Saturday mornings. And then I found the Monday night show, which at that time was actually called Prime Time Wrestling. It wasn't even called Raw yet, so kind of dating myself, but that had Drilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan on it, and they would just go back and show different wrestling matches that were taped earlier that week and stuff. But it was a fun show, and as a little kid, I just got hooked. And there was a video game called the WWF WrestleMania on the original Nintendo. And I used to play that all the time, like little Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, and that's how I just fell in love with wrestling and as a fan. And as far as getting into it, early 2000s, I got a call from a buddy who was involved in a local promotion called VCW, which was Valley Championship Wrestling, which ran out of Wilkes-Barre, kind of out of a warehouse. And went down there, got a little bit of training in, got involved in some matches, and that's when I first got a taste of actually being in the ring and wrestling in front of a crowd that paid to come and see you. Then I kind of disappeared for a while, and I reemerged with Kyle. Our buddy Don put on that Pure Wrestling show at the CYC of all places.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, you want to come down and do commentary? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And here I am, talking to Alpha, the Wild Simone, sitting next to me, and his son was there, and I'm talking to all these guys. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And like Kyle mentioned, Joey Janela wrestled that night, Renee Michelle. So seeing these future people that I went on to get on TV and everything, and it was awesome. And as far as in the ring, that didn't happen until a couple years ago. me and Kyle were lucky enough to meet up with the Sanctuary and started training again. And for me, I kind of had to relearn everything because I hadn't been in the ring in forever. And you'd be surprised what you forget. It's not like riding a bike whatsoever, you know. So, and then we got this DTF thing going, and here we are.
No, absolutely. I remember it was like one of my first shows. Like when I ever first went to the Sanctuary, it was me and my dad. And I was like, we need a tag team match. And I'm not even joking. Like the next match was literally you guys. I was like, and I personally like, you know, sometimes I like the heels better. And I was like, y'all personally like give off the heel vibe. So I'm like, I think I'm going to like these.
Yeah, we were definitely more on the heel side.
Yeah, I guess that's fair to say. I mean, the way I kind of see it is the objective in professional wrestling is to win and win at all costs. And I just see us as opportunistic, you know, win when you can and always try to win.
No, yeah, most definitely. So so my dad is chanting your guys' name in the chat. I'm sure next time we have the show, you'll definitely hear us. You'll know who that is.
We definitely appreciate
there are some smart, wise fans out there. I definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We appreciate the support.
Of course. And then we have the Dawn of Sports saying you are old. I think he was referring to you, but not.
He said I'm not old or I am old.
You are. I'm going to say you're not old.
No.
I'm not that old. I mean, I could still carry my own, I think. What's that song? I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. There we go.
So now out of being a heel and a face, is there one that you prefer or you think is easier than the other? Or does it just come naturally?
Want me to go first, Kyle?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Me, definitely heel. I come off better as a heel. I don't know, just natural for me. To go out there and have the fans love me, it's just kind of awkward. I'm better off like telling people you suck. And it's just, you know, I grew up a Shawn Michaels fan, even though he was on both sides of the helm at times, heel and face. I always like the heel part better. So yeah, I like going out there and giving the crowd a hard time and having them boo us and, you know, say crazy, insulting things to me because I love it. I eat that stuff up. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. The worse they say to me, the more I feed off it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with them. I would say it's definitely more challenging to be a face, though. I mean, anybody could go around and go up to your face and tell you, you know, you suck, you're ugly, and just instantly get some sort of heat. It's not always the easiest thing to get, you know, a crowd or anyone behind you, especially when, you know, that's ultimately your goal. I probably have more fun, you know, essentially being a heel. I would say being a face is definitely more of a challenge. And it's kind of funny, too, with the DTF characters. And I don't want to put words in the Fearless One's mouth, but I feel like who we are in a lot of ways are who we are inside the ring as well.
Oh yeah, we're not very fake. We're kind of like our real life. That's how we got our name. You know, people think, oh, DTF. Did you think of what most people think of when you say DTF? That actually had nothing to do with it. We were just putting our names together. He's like, well, you're going to be Kyle D. I'm the Fearless One. He's a D. I'm an F, DF, TF. We were just throwing around how we can mix our names. And then we just threw, how about DTF? We just need to find like a manager or a valet with the first name with a T, and we're all set. So we've yet to find that person, but so far the D and the F are doing pretty good.
I'd say so.
I mean, I personally like it because when they announced you, I looked at my dad. I said, did they really just say that? And he's like, they mean down to fight. Get your.
That's right.
I was asking. I just wanted to clarify that's what I heard. But I like it because it was funny at the Sanctuary show that I went to. I forget how they were related, but Chris P, there was like these little kids that somehow are related to Chris P. And they were like booing Precious and like cheering you guys. I was like, I like this because the heel, I preferably like the heels because they get to like fight with people and I like fighting with people too. So yeah. I was like, I like those kids. And then after they were booing Precious, I'm like, I don't know, man. Precious is pretty lit, but
Precious is a good guy. He is.
He's good people. He's good people. He definitely is.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we appreciate those little kids for sure.
Yeah, for now. No, I'm just kidding. But we have the Dawn of Sports saying, known the fearless one almost 20 years now. He's a jerk.
Oh, I can be a jerk. I mean, that's my job, right? You know, I mean, if people love me, I'm not really the fearless one, now am I?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. So for you guys, how long would you say like it was from like the time you started training to like the time you got like your first like official match?
Well, our timelines are a little different on that. For me, like I said, it was early 2000s. I went down to VCW's warehouse. They put me through some training, like the owner down there, and then they
Yeah.
put me into a match. It was kind of a squash match, but I still went out there and had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That I don't know if you guys know who that bum J.S. Michaels is. He was in that match back in those days, and we still have some beef with that guy. Take care of that another day, but
Yeah.
that's where it started for me. And then, like I said, I kind of disappeared, and then resurfaced with Kyle with this whole DTF thing and retraining myself at the sanctuary. So that's how it was for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was kind of funny. Greg was talking about stepping back in the ring at the time, and I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, you know, he's been out of this for a while now. It's crazy that after all this time, he still has that ambition to go do this. And I thought to myself, you know what? I've been around this business since, you know, around 2013. The only thing I had left to do at that point was basically dip my toes in the ring. I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's go for it. So yeah, we started training at the sanctuary. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was us and Vince Torres, and I remember Precious came in a couple weeks after, and you know we were down there every weekend, you know, just going through like the basic drills and whatnot, and just kind of pushing ourselves. And I'm pretty sure the first match that we had once we reemerged at the sanctuary was Stampede.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was shocked. I thought we were just gonna go down there and like hang out behind the scenes, and I see the list. I'm like, yeah, you guys are in Stampede. I'm like, are you serious? Then I come out, I'm in there with Sky Rose and J.S. Hawthorne, Audrey Polino. I'm like, how did I end up here? You know, like, this is crazy. But it was awesome. I mean, that experience. The entrances at the sanctuary, like coming out with them lights and that music and the smoke, like it's an experience. It really is.
It is.
No, absolutely. And that's kind of like what Vince Torres too. He said, he was like, obviously, like there's so many different like schools you can train in, but like the sanctuary specifically is not necessarily just a school. It's like y'all are like a family, and like you help each other out. And it's not like in high school how you have like those like groups, like, okay, we have the mean girls there, and then there's that you all just work together. So I think
we have kind of the mean girls. They're called the Honor Society, but they're kind of disbanded now, so we don't have to worry about them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing. We'd like to think that perhaps DTF had something to do with the Honor Society finally breaking apart. I mean, I don't want to pin that on us exactly, but you know, they play a role.
Yeah, they just take it how it is. If they want to think that you guys were the cause, then so be it. But preferably it's not. It's all right.
All good.
But the Dawn of Sports says Precious is a possible diamond in the rough, lots of potential. Definitely. And then he says Taurus is a bomb.
Who's a bomb?
Vince.
Oh
yeah, Vince. Yeah, total bomb. I agree with that.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I would say every single person that I've, you know, had the honor and the privilege to meet at the sanctuary, from, you know, the trainers like John Trotsky and Cowboy Billy Walker to the students that now do the training like Hawthorne. I would vouch for anybody. I think everybody has boatloads of potential there. I would expect and suspect that in the future, these are going to be names that are going to be across indie wrestling for quite some time. And if it's not going to be on the indie wrestling circuit, it's going to be on televised production. Yeah, you could mark my words on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent in the sanctuary.
There is.
No, really. It was so crazy because like on my first show, everyone was so welcoming and so nice. I was like, not a lot of companies are like that anymore. They're just like, yeah, you're just here as a fan, do whatever you want. But like there were so many wrestlers talking to me. I was like, whoa. Hi, nice to meet you. This is great. This is interesting, but it was a lot of fun. So definitely going back.
No, that's awesome. And I think that's what everybody there is basically trying to aim for, is just to make everybody feel included and involved, and just try to put on the best show possible. Because at the end of the day, that's what makes wrestling work. I mean, two people could go out there and basically do their thing, but if there's no crowd and there's no engagement, what's the point then? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Definitely. So you kind of just like said something about it, but like if the time came for you guys and you had to choose either AEW or WWE, which one do you think you would choose?
To have such a problem. For me, I mean, Kyle knows what I'm going to say. I mean, I would love the opportunity to go to either, but I grew up a WWF guy, and I know it's WWE now, which I still have an issue with, but we won't go there. But I would totally go to the WWE. I would go to NXT just so I can meet Shawn Michaels, you know?
Yeah.
For me, if I'm put in such a dilemma, I personally would probably go the AEW route. And, the way I kind of see it is it just seems like an easier schedule, and at the end of the day, once you're starting to build your life and you got a lot of different things going on, you're always going to kind of pick what's ever going to be easiest on you in that sense. I know with WWE, it's just an extremely demanding schedule. Some people, they thrive in that environment. I'm not saying I necessarily would or wouldn't, but I think the AEW route would definitely be the safer route, to say the least. Little bit easier on the body perhaps as well.
No, absolutely. So we the Dawn is saying that these two fight about everything. Is that common between you two?
No, I mean,
it's what it is.
Kyle and I have a way of talking things out. Like even tonight, like Kyle had the black shirt on, I'm thinking maybe white, and Kyle's got the white on. See, we work things out.
That's the beauty of DTF at the end of the day, is like you could look at any other tag team, whether it's locally or wherever they're at, and I just feel like the Fearless One and Kyle D are just one synchronized unit. You're not going to get a more cohesive unit, I promise you that, which is probably why we have the track record that we do. But hey, again, it is what it is.
And that's an advantage of us being an older tag team. We're more mature. We know how to kind of talk things out and not have a big fat head. And I think sometimes I'm older than Kyle, but I still think that sometimes could be an advantage.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So then my dad asks basically if the same thing that I just asked about AEW and WWE, if you got the choice of Impact or New Japan Pro Wrestling, which one do you think you would choose there?
You want to go on first on that one, Kyle?
So, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I could see perks to definitely both of them. I feel like the experience you would get in New Japan would just be second to none. First of all, I definitely like Japanese cuisine. That's just for starters. That alone might make me go there. But in all seriousness, I would probably say Impact would probably be the better route. As much as I would love a tour of Japan, I just don't quite know if that's in Kyle D's future. That I'm not sure I could quite line that up. Maybe one day, let's never say never. But I think Impact is probably the route I would ultimately go.
Okay. No.
I have to agree with Kyle. Not to say I would never not go to New Japan if given the opportunity, but if I had to choose between the two, Impact. Nothing against New Japan, but for one, I'm petrified of airplanes. I've seen the movie La Bamba. I don't like airplanes. I don't want to fly anywhere that I don't have to fly to. And unless we're taking a boat to Japan, and then maybe, Kyle, I'll do it. We'd probably have to take a boat. But as far as getting on an airplane, and then Kyle likes the Japanese food, and nothing against that, but I need my Subways and my Burger Kings and stuff. So I don't think I'd eat very well in Japan. So yeah, I'm going to go with Impact all day, every day on that. But again, no disrespect to Japan. If I had to do it, I would do it. But I got to take a boat because I don't want to do an airplane.
All right. Interesting. So I don't get the vibe from YouTube, but how do you guys feel about like hardcore weapons, deathmatch, that type of?
I'll go first on that one, Kyle, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Definitely a big ECW guy. That was my realm. I've been to many ECW shows. I met a lot of those guys, Sandman and Tommy Dreamer, and I loved watching that stuff. Now, as far as me doing it, back in the day, yes. Does 44-year-old Greg want to go out there and do barbed wire and get hit in the head with light bulbs and everything? Probably not. I would maybe do it once. I mean, I respect it. I mean, Bret Hart once said there's no art in hardcore wrestling, but I think there's definitely an art to hardcore. You got to have a certain mentality to do matches like that because, I mean, that stuff's not fake. You're really out there getting blasted with a lot of stuff, and you're bleeding and you're cut, and they're backstage picking the glass out of your back and the thumbtacks and everything. And I would do it once, and then that would probably be it. But in my younger days, oh yeah, I would have did it whenever I had to, no doubt.
Yeah, the way I kind of see it is pretty much with anything in wrestling, you need to make something count for something. I'm not like a big fan of, let's go out there and have every single match, include weapons or have weapons involved or be a gimmick match of some variety. It's got to serve a purpose. So, if you have two people that are going at it, and you're on match number 3, and this is the blow off now, and it's going to be no disqualification or no holds barred. You're going to have some weapons involved, some blood involved. So be it. If it's for the sense of telling the story, go for it. I would rather see people save their bodies and make every bump and every moment count as much as possible. Because at the end of the day, your paycheck is going to be the most important thing to you, and longevity is the name of the game. You have to go as long as you could. The more risk you take, especially if it's kind of unnecessary, you're just not putting yourself in a good spot. So I'm kind of in the same boat. If it serves a purpose, I would do it. I don't really want to ruin such a pretty face. But perhaps we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
No, yeah. And I mean, there's a wrestler, I'm sure you guys are aware of him, but Tarzan, he's pretty famous here before that. And I'm like, I give it to him. He's crazy for doing it like every weekend, but
he's a different breed. Let me put it this way. I'm glad that Tarzan is not a big issue in the tag team scene.
Yeah.
It would be a little different for us then, I think.
No, yeah, most definitely. So
yeah, we've shared our locker room with Tarzan at the Sanctuary. He's a good dude. I came in the bathroom the one night on one of those very, very cold nights at the Sanctuary, and all I see is Tarzan hovered around the bathroom heater with a big blanket around him. I was like, "What's up, dude?" It's very cold that night.
Can't blame him.
No, I can't blame him. It gets cold at the Sanctuary in the winter.
It builds character.
It does.
It really does. It was so funny for me because I've known Tarzan as a baby face. So walking into there, I had that like mindset, like, okay, Tarzan's gonna be a baby face. And then he came out and he was screaming at children. I was like, what?
He's very entertaining. He's an entertaining guy, man. From the time he comes out to the time he leaves, man, his matches are entertaining.
I know,
absolutely. Yeah. He's one of those people that gives it 110% all the way. Like there's nothing below.
No, I give it to him because he's like wrestling all the time, but I would never be able to put my body through half the stuff that he does. But
True.
My dad says, yes, it's cold there, but we love the action.
We stay warm, that's for sure. But like once you get to that locker room, it's like, man, where's the heater? Where's the blankets?
No. Oh yeah, it's funny because you're, as you're waiting in the back to go out there, you're just thinking to yourself, I just can't wait to start moving. But yeah, no, like you said, it in the wintertime, especially up there, it gets a little nippy. But I like to think that it just adds kind of a special element to it.
But when you're wrestling, you do not feel it at all. Nothing.
Nope.
Crazy.
Stop. You feel that like the cold hit you. Be like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
But it's cool. So like if a younger fan came up to you guys at the Sanctuary or some other show and they were like, I want to do exactly what you're doing, what advice would you give them?
You want to go first on that, Kyle?
Yeah, I'll take that. I guess imitation maybe is a form of flattery. I would tell anybody, definitely just try to find something that you can get behind. Like a lot of guys will tell you to separate who you are from your character, never, have them intertwine. But the way I kind of see it is there has to be a part of yourself within who you are in that ring to just kind of give it a form of authenticity. If you're trying really hard to push something that's not there, it's going to translate. Other talent's going to notice it, fans are going to notice it, and you're just going to have to go back to the drawing board. So I would definitely just say study as much as you could all the gimmicks that have been throughout just wrestling history across the territories, across televised productions, and the list goes on and on and on. You will find what you're looking for. It just might not come right away. And then the only other thing I would say to that is there's only one DTF, and there's only ever going to be one DTF. It's going to be hard to match the greatness that the Fearless One and I are at right now. But
one of a kind. What I would ask the kid is, first of all, is he like a true wrestling fan? Is he into the WWE? Is he into AEW or Impact? Or because I think that matters. I think there's guys that get into the wrestling not because they're a fan, because they want to make money. They're bodybuilders. They have a nice body, and someone tells them, "Oh, well, you should go get into wrestling." And that's happened to a lot of wrestlers that we know. The Ultimate Warrior is famous for that. He got into it because not necessarily he loved wrestling, but he wanted to be a bodybuilder. He had the body for it, and they just taught him how to take some bumps and do some stuff. But I think the guys in this business that really make it, you got to have a true love for it. You got to be a fan. Like, you just want to have to wrestle. Like, that's all you don't care about money. I mean, y'all care about money, but like, that's not your goal. Like, you're out there because you love doing it, and you love the crowd and the response and opening that curtain and hearing your music hit, stuff like that, as opposed to like just getting into this because you want to be famous and on TV and get girls and make money and have a nice car and a house and all. I mean, all that stuff's fine for those guys that get to that point. But I would ask the kid, like, do you really love this? Is this like truly in your heart and your soul, and that you really want to do it? Because there's nights you're going to go out there and you're going to get bumped around and it's going to hurt. And those guys do it almost every night. Like Kyle was saying, like, schedule, like they're wrestling all the time. Like, we're lucky we get time to recover as indie guys and all, but these guys that are wrestling 5-6 nights a week, you don't get much time to recover. So that would be my biggest thing. And then secondly, find a good school, a legit school that's not just there to take your money, but they actually care, want to train you, want to see you succeed, and then, go from there. But it's got to all start in the heart for me. You got to love professional wrestling to do this.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And the Dawn says, get trained.
Yes.
Yes, you got to get trained. That's very important.
This would probably be a perfect plug now to remind people that, especially at the Sanctuary right now, they are, and we are, accepting new students. So anybody that's thinking about possibly getting their feet in the door and just learning, all the little ins and outs of professional wrestling, the Sanctuary is probably the best place. It's essentially one giant stunt studio with, Trotsky and Billy Walker there, to go over everything with you. And then, like I said, the students that are also capable of training now, Vince Torres, J.S. Hawthorne, the list goes on. You're going to be surrounded by a lot of great people that could teach you so much, from style, technique, character development. The list goes on and on and on. If you want literally the whole package, the Sanctuary is literally the place to be and to go to.
Oh yeah, I mean, Trotsky's pretty cool. I don't know about the other one. He's all right, but how am I favorite?
Yeah, those Walker Clan guys. I know what you mean.
Yep.
Stress me out, but it's all right,
Yeah, we've had our issues with the Walker Clan.
DTF at least takes the edge off of just about anything, so that's literally the saving grace.
No, yeah, literally. Like, I was having such a shitty day that day, and then I saw you guys. You were like, "Yeah, I'm here to beat some ass." I was like, "Yeah, go get him, do your thing."
We love that. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
So now, speaking on an indie level, as individuals, one-on-one, if you guys could face anyone, who would you want to face?
Like you said just in the indies, or you mean like anybody in
So,
wrestling?
all right. So in the indies.
Oh,
If you
in
guys
the
had,
indies.
yes, separate.
One-on-one or
Yes,
it's one-on-one.
Yes, first.
Oh, that's a good question. I never even thought about. See, Kyle are so cohesive as a team. I never really thought who I'd want to face one-on-one. Let me go first, Kyle. All right.
Yeah, go for it.
I would like to face my old buddy from back in the day, J.S. Michaels, one-on-one. I still have a lot of beef with him.
Yeah.
He beat me down pretty good in VCW, and then I left and never got my revenge. So if he ever wants to get back, because he's my age, so if he's out there managing. Who's that team? Oh, the Diamond City War Machines. Those bums, what they did to us, Kyle. But let's not go into that. But anyway, yeah, I would want J.S. Michaels against the Fearless one-on-one.
All right. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Diamond City War Machines, but don't tell them I said that.
All right.
Hey,
We
we
won't
didn't
say
say nothing. Trust me. We have a bone to pick with them still.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, as crazy as this might sound, last season at the Sanctuary, I had a one-on-one match with Precious, and I think about that match a lot. I think about the way it ended, the way it unfolded, but I do think about how special of a match that was for me personally, and like I said, I got a lot of respect for Precious, and every time I step in the ring with them, I could just tell every time just how much better and better and better he gets. There's something about him and that really just kind of drives me and motivates me to the point that I look forward to any opportunity I get where I can step into a ring across from him.
Yeah.
So this season going into the Sanctuary, if the Sanctuary gods somehow can just make that 1v1 happen again, Kyle D versus Precious, one more time, I would honestly look forward to that and definitely be grateful for it. I think there's definitely some chemistry there. And I think the entertainment value is definitely high on that one.
No, absolutely. I think personally, if I were to walk in the Sanctuary and Precious was like a heel, I'd be like, hold on, let me walk out those doors and try again, because there's no way that's going to happen.
That would be like Hulk Hogan when he switched over. I don't think anybody could see Precious going heel, but you never know.
Hey, you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
I guess. So now as a tag team, if you could face anyone in the indies, who would you want to face?
You want me to take that, Greg?
I don't know. Didn't we already say we would take on anybody, any place, anytime? But if you want to narrow it down,
that's kind of what I was going to get at. We're
well, for podcast sake, if you do want to answer that as far as picking a team, I guess for podcast reasons we could do that. It's up to you, Kyle. What do you say?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was going to say, simply put, it's obviously going to be any team, anytime, anywhere. But if you're putting us on the spot and we got to pick one, again, we're kind of circling back here a little bit, but Diamond City War Machines, there's just something not sitting right with the very suspicious loss that we took to them. We faced them basically in an impromptu match at Smash Master Wrestling. The lights were in my eyes. That bum J.S. Michaels, he got involved.
He distracted me. He wanted me to take pictures for him on his phone, he said.
Right. Not sitting right. So that would be me personally.
Yeah. All right. I mean, go ahead.
If you take J.S. Michaels out of the equations, I think that might have been a different, because he's like forcing me to take pictures on his phone for him and stuff, which I was like, all right. I mean, he wanted selfies like at ringside, and it just we weren't ready. They totally caught us off guard. But well, since Kyle said the Diamond City War Machines, and I definitely want to get back in the ring and get revenge on those guys. So that's like a 1B for me. But since Kyle said them, I'm gonna go with those crazy Viking guys, those freaking Tyrant dudes. I would love to get in there with Tyrant and just show that DTF can hang in there with anybody, even if they're 10 times bigger than we are. So for me, I would like to get in there with Tyrant at some point in 2024.
No, I met them at High Ground. I'm sure I probably met them at some other show too. But when I met them at High Ground, I could not take them seriously. I looked at my dad. I was like, can you talk to them for me? I was like, I don't know how to take this. but they were interesting.
They're intimidating dudes.
They are. They're formidable opponents. We've yet to square off against them 2v2. I kind of agree with the Fearless one though. I'm looking forward to an opportunity to definitely stand across them one day. It doesn't really matter, I guess, what the tag team is we're standing across from. I feel pretty good about our chances of coming out on top and just finding a way to win, as always.
As always. And then obviously the Dawn is saying Honor Society, and they said, "Oh wait." But then we have Millie saying that I was there for that. I'm guessing the Sanctuary show, and you guys were robbed. Or not the Sanctuary, Smash. My bad.
Yeah, she would have been at the Smash show. Yeah, because she's giving me some heat on social media about that match. But I'm glad to see that she's starting to come around and realize what actually went down that day.
I think Millie definitely saw what happened that day. Like I said, we were definitely robbed. It was a suspicious victory. It's not sitting well with me. I'm hoping, perhaps maybe Uncle Masty, if he's watching or out there in the realm somewhere, he could possibly just right this wrong. It just, DTF doesn't lose like that. It's just no.
No, that was like record time for us.
Yeah, there's a huge asterisk next to that match in the wrestling history books. We're better off just scratching that off, honestly.
Yeah.
Our entrance was pretty good, though.
It always is.
Of course. I don't know their tag team name, but I would love to see you two go against Buddy Thomas and Playboy Polly. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but...
Familiar with the names, not familiar with the in-ring personalities.
They kill me. I think you guys need to go in there and beat the living crap out of them, because if not, I'll go to the Sanctuary. I'll train just so I can have a match with them, and then I'll retire and be like, that's it.
Well, hey, if you decide to do that, you definitely let us know. I'm not really training material, I guess you could say. Fearless One, I don't know if you're really training material either. We kind of work best as a unit, not really helping other people out. But we could definitely point you in the right direction of how to win.
All right. Great to know. Good to know. And then we have the Dawn chanting DTF. But so now, unlike WWE, AEW level, if y'all could have a tag team match against anyone, who would you want to face? Like in the WWE.
How about you, Kyle? You're probably going to pick AEW, I assume.
That's actually a really, really, that's actually really tough for me. It would be crazy, as this might sound, but I know, like, especially in AEW, we know that Sting is essentially coming to, the end of his legacy and an amazing career. And we know that he's cohesive with Darby Allin. I mean, for me personally, having that opportunity to step in a ring and face off against Sting, win, lose, or draw, that would probably be really huge. And that's probably like almost top of the line for me in like dream matches. Like if I were to die right after that, I'd be a happy man.
That's amazing.
Well, I'm going to surprise Kyle here. I'm actually not going to go to WWE team. If I could face any tag team right now, I would like to face the Young Bucks. I just kind of like what they're about, their style of wrestling. And I think like a DTF versus the Young Bucks would actually be a pretty cool match. If I could resurrect the dead, I would love to have DTF take on the Natural Disasters, Earthquake, and Tugboat, because I was scarred as a child when I saw the Earthquake come out and attack Hulk Hogan on the Brother Love show. I even wrote Hulk Hogan a letter. I was crying my eyes out. My mom's like, it's not real. He's fine. He's sitting in a hotel counting his money. But I thought he was actually almost dead and his chest was crushed. So I swore that day as a little kid, one day I was going to become a wrestler and I was going to fight the Earthquake and get revenge for Hulk Hogan. But that never happened, unfortunately. But DTF versus the Natural Disasters would have been pretty awesome. But unfortunately, we can never have that now. But That would have been a dream match.
That would definitely be an uphill battle. But I feel pretty confident, we would definitely find a way to walk out with that victory.
Oh, definitely. We would have found a way.
Yeah. All right. So Millie asked, how about DTF versus TOP?
Well, that's a little tricky because, I definitely have a lot of respect, especially for Ricky Price. And even MJ Stacks, he's a big guy, super strong, definitely be an uphill battle. Now, if we're saying in a hypothetical world, it's definitely DTF versus TOP. As always, if I'm a betting man, I'm putting that money down on DTF.
Oh, yeah.
We found ourselves in some scraps before. I don't know if you know this, Harley, but we've been across 42 different states in this country and have won numerous championships. These are all exclusive events too. The public won't know about it, so don't waste any time looking it up. They were invite only, and we have a track record of winning and winning and winning.
Yeah, we have a history on the underground.
Yeah.
Yes, the underground. The underground.
I agree, though. I would love to. Oh, actually, we've been in there with half of those guys. We've been in there with Ricky Price. Now, he didn't have his normal tag team partner, Mr. Stacks. He was in there with our buddy Rick. With the other Ricky? Who was Ricky's partner that night?
We have beaten Ricky Price before. He teamed
but
up
it wasn't
with Frankie.
It was Frankie.
Frankie, yeah, and we do have a victory over them.
Yeah, so technically we've been in there with Ricky Price, but this is not with his normal boy. Just to throw this out there, I was talking to one of the members of this tag team on social media, and there is a possibility, nothing confirmed, but you could possibly see DTF in the Riot Act coming out one day. Now, DTF has never been in the ring with the opposite sex before, so we're up to any challenge. So if those two ladies ever want to scrap with DTF, like I said, I was talking to one of them, and she did show some interest, so that's another possible match you might see in 2024.
You never know. You never know.
Interesting. I personally would love to see you guys face TOP because I love Ricky, I love MJ, but neither of them came on the podcast, so they're kind of like they're lower on my list because they're not as cool.
Well, any promoters out there, anybody watching, if you just want to get the word out, DTF versus TOP, I'm sure we could probably make this happen. I don't know about you guys. That seems main event marquee worthy to me.
Absolutely. I agree.
Anything's possible.
Strange things happen.
All right. So you just said that you guys have not been in an intergender match as a tag team. Have you ever been in it alone, or you haven't had that?
No, when I was in VCW, I never faced any female competition. And we've been out there at the Sanctuary around other female competition, but we've never actually like I was in Stampede, but by the time Adina Steele and Riley Crow came out, unfortunately that bum Philly Mike threw me out already. But in this past year, I got ganged up by the freaking Honor Society. So by the time any of these female wrestlers have ever stepped into Stampede, unfortunately, I've already been long gone. But like I said, maybe in 2024, if the Riot Act wants to scrap, then you never know. Or any other team, any other female competition out there that thinks they could take out DTF, then we're open to anything.
Oh yeah, we'll never turn down a challenge, no matter who it is. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're 5 feet tall, 100 pounds, or you're 7 feet tall and like a monster, among men. We'll definitely find a way to win, and we'll pretty much take any challenge there is.
All right, okay, I see you. So now, if you could wrestle anywhere in the world, it doesn't have to be company wise, but anywhere, where would you want to wrestle?
Madison Square Garden.
I knew it. I freaking knew it.
I'm a big New York City guy. That's me.
I think I would have to agree with them. I think with just the history there, and just the energy of the city alone, I think, yep, MSG.
All right. I think, MLW and Philly would be a great spot for you guys. They're very, I'm gonna catch some heat on this one, but I hate the Eagles. I'm not an Eagles fan. I hate Philly. all due respect, if anyone's watching that is an Eagles fan, but they are very, very intense out there. So I think they need a little DTF out there.
You know what? I think you probably made my night. I have such a loathing and a hatred for Philadelphia. Harley, that made my night. I want to thank you personally.
We would have fun with a Philadelphia crowd. They would have no problem hating DTF, that's for sure.
Oh, no. I'd have no problem hating them.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, we thought Tarzan was a different breed. No. People from Philly, people who live in Philly, they definitely different.
Oh, I agree.
I gotta watch because I'll be catching some heat with wrestlers. They'll be like, I'm an Eagles fan, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bad decision. But
No.
But that's okay.
You let us know if they give you any heat. You let us know.
All right. Cool. So then Millie says, that's it, Harley. We can't be friends. I'm sorry. I mean, Eagles are they're all right. They lost like a couple games, but not.
Yeah, my Jets beat the Eagles, so suck on that, Millie.
Hey, the Giants beat the Eagles too. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah. And my dad is actually a Giants fan, so that was great.
I know we had to suffer a little bit this season, but I feel good. I know everybody says that every year, but I feel good about 2024. Let's be optimistic here.
So you're a Giants fan. What team
yes.
do you prefer? Fearless one.
Oh, I'm a Jets fan. Yeah, big time. I just need Aaron Rodgers to stay upright next year, and we're good to go.
Yeah, hopefully. But okay, all right. And then the Dawn says, I had to subscribe for the Philly comment. That's something I will always find myself doing on here, hating on Philly. So I'm like, oh, hey, like I'd love to go to MLW or any show out there, but you gonna catch me saying something about Philly.
No.
It's all right. But it's okay. So do you guys, I know you do, but if people are dumb enough and they are unaware, do you guys have merch? And if so, where can they purchase it at?
We do have merch, but here, I'll let Kyle finish this. But yeah, we do have merch. We have currently the T-shirts, black and white. And I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but we do have some new merch coming out in 2024 that I think our female fans and probably their husbands and boyfriends are going to enjoy quite a lot. So I'm not going to let it out of the bag right now. We're currently working with someone within wrestling, and she's helping us out with this project. But we do plan on having a merch table at live shows with our T-shirts and this new special product we're coming out with. And as far as online, I'm going to let Kyle handle that part.
Yeah, so when it comes to the merch, we definitely have T-shirts. We also have, the signature DTF look, the sleeveless style as well available. Right now, the only way you can get our merch is if you just directly message us on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can reach us at. Reach out to us. We could even accommodate and ship things out. We kind of prefer the more authentic experience. So we encourage people to get out to the shows that we're at, say hi, stop by, definitely get some photos with us, gladly sell you some merch. And yeah, we just want to kind of make it just a streamlined experience, right? So, it's not just like, hey, let me order one of these shirts from you. We want to be the one to hand you that shirt, get that photo, chat it up a bit, and then make sure you put the shirt on.
No, absolutely. I'm intrigued now to figure out like what your new merch item is. Obviously, I got to get merch now, but the Dawn says, can I announce it?
No, shut your mouth, Don.
And then he says, support your indie talent, buy merch. But
absolutely.
All right, that I agree with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny enough. I have no white like T-shirts from wrestlers, and I like white T-shirts, but
see, Kyle disagrees with me on this. I told you, Kyle, white is awesome.
I was hesitant on white for a very long time. But then you start to realize that, a lot of people have your default like black shirts and whatnot. So it's like, hey, if not a lot of people are out here sporting the white, then, just let's go for it then.
No,
that's right.
Absolutely. And I'm going to convince a wrestler one day because I tell every single wrestler I have on here, I don't know if it is or whatever, but I think a great merch idea, because especially females wear them, leggings. If someone came out with leggings, like you can put like DTF on the top. And since there's two of you, there's two pant legs. One of you can put your name on one leg and you put the other one on the other leg. I promise you, I would buy every color you have. Be like, okay, you got a blue pair? Cool. Got a this? I would buy every pair.
That actually did happen, surprisingly, Harley. I'm not sure if you know who Zach Zander is, but one of his relatives was at a Sanctuary show back in the day, and she loved our tights so much. She's like, those guys should make leggings, but say DTF on them. So that actually did kind of happen. So
That is true.
you never know. Maybe we'll add leggings to the merchandise table at some point.
No,
Yeah, no, I definitely
Yoga pants. Yeah.
Yeah, we get different requests sometimes. We'll have people just kind of slide into our DMs. Some requests are, I guess, more friendly, I guess, than others. Maybe family friendly. But yeah, no, I'm definitely open to try out different things. If people want to buy it, we'll definitely explore that route.
No, absolutely. I like I said, leggings, beanies. We always got the t-shirts, but switch it up a little bit. I like it. But and then the Dawn said she is hired for our marketing team. Interesting.
One day you'll be able to dress head to toe in DTF gear. How about that? We'll work on that.
Yes, we will work on it.
It's my dream. So do you guys have like a specific warm-up you do before you come out the curtain or onto the stage, as in the Sanctuary?
Well, yeah, we always go over like what we're gonna do. Like Kyle's like, "You all right, buddy? You ready to go?" A little fist pump, and that's about it. Whoever we're wrestling, we always meet up with them earlier, try to get everything squared away as best we can. And I'm like old school Macho Man. Like some of the guys laugh at me. Like Precious thought it was hysterical. Like how I wrote down like what we were like. I probably shouldn't be. Like everybody knows wrestling by now. Like so I'm writing everything down that we're gonna be doing and going over. So I just find it better to like memorize like going down. So personally, that's what I do. Kyle looks over it, but Kyle's kind of more of like, let's just get out in the ring and call it. But me, I just kind of like have to have sort of an idea what's going on. So my preparation's a little bit different than Kyle's because I'm back there like studying my notes and stuff. But other than that, no, we're just fist pump. Let's go, buddy. Stay safe.
Yeah, what he said essentially. When we're back there, obviously you're going to loosen out the best you could. I'm just ready to go out there, and do what we're going to do. I know what my role is. Everybody should know what their role is. We're just going to go out there and make this thing happen. I love authenticity, and I love when things are really organic. I kind of like the suspense of like, you don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. Let's go ride with this. But yeah.
No, absolutely. And like, that's, I think my favorite thing about wrestling is having like, obviously I work a lot of these shows now. So like, I know the behind stage stuff and I know the outs, like the in front stage. And it's so funny to me, like when I'm in the crowd and I'm seeing like the fans like screaming at these wrestlers, I'm like, God. And they're like the sweetest humans, like behind, like out of the ring and everything. I'm like, that's crazy. Like with Tarzan, definitely. He was arguing with this little girl. I'm like, as you should. But like outside, he was like, never.
That's the funnest part of it. Seeing a little kid chant DTF, I just find that hysterical. I maybe it's just me. I don't know.
As long as they don't say it when they go to school, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So, do you guys think it's gonna be an age thing, a mindset thing, or an injury that in the future causes you to retire or call it quits?
For me personally, I just hope it just gets to a point where it's like there's not much left DTF can do. We've rode this train as far as we could ride it. Because I got a few years on Kyle, so he could certainly go longer than I can. But I definitely don't want to end on injury. I mean, that's my biggest fear. Because like my profession in life, like I don't sit behind a desk. I physically have to use my body, my knees, my arms, everything. If I was like to blow out a knee and I saw like the injuries like Adina Steele went through and Philly Mike, and it scared me to death because like if that ever happened to me, like I'd be so screwed because I couldn't work. So that's always in the back of my mind. That's why when I'm out there, I try to like. That's why I like to write things down. I want to know what's coming. I want to know the bumps I got to take, where my head's got to be, where I got to be to protect myself as best and I've had some injuries, I'm not going to lie, but luckily it hasn't been anything to the point where it's hindered me at work or where I couldn't get out of bed the next morning. So no, I just hope, my plan, I'm 44. I want to do this till I'm 50. That's my plan. I want to go till I'm 50. Going to try to like say my prayers and take my vitamins and do everything I can to get to that point. And, but yeah, that's why I want to go out on our own terms. And Kyle and I have talked about how we kind of want to go out. I'm not going to bring that up right now, but we'll get to that when the time comes. But definitely no injuries. Now I don't want to get injured. I don't want to see Kyle get injured. I don't want to see our opponents get injured. We're doing this for fun, especially me and Kyle, because we know at our age we're not going to see the WWE or the AEW. They're not going to take an old fart like me. So we're just trying to have fun in the indies, and that's why I want to go out on our own terms.
I mean, I personally, I love wrestling as a whole, but I don't really watch WWE or AEW. I'm more of an indies person. I like having that like connection and being able to talk to them. Like, you're not gonna be able to go and talk to John Cena or Roman Reigns, but like compared to the indies, it's like you guys, honestly, a lot of times, and depending on the company, you guys become like a family. So it's like it works.
That's true.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off of what even Greg pointed out, like the last thing you want to do is you want to see anybody, in the realm of wrestling get hurt. It kind of comes with the territory, obviously. Anything can happen at any time. That's always kind of in the back of your head too. Like this could be it. This could be the last one. But at least for me, I want to kind of ride this train as long as we could. I try to stay safe, protect myself, protect my opponents the best way I could. I don't try to undergo or do something that even I don't feel comfortable doing. And I would never want to put anybody in that predicament if they don't feel safe doing something. Like I said, longevity is the name of the game. And the last thing you want to do is take opportunity away from someone, because every time you get hurt, you're basically, punching out, a punch on your bump card, and you only get so many. And the thing of it is, you don't know how many you get. Yeah. So yeah, going to ride the train as long as we could. I hope injuries never like a major factor. I hope, when I'm 70, I could be like, well, you know what? This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed entertaining people, especially like in the 570 area. And I'm ready to just lay down and I guess maybe die. But yeah.
The way I took that is I thought you were saying you're going to wrestle till you're 70. I'm like, hey, if that's what I do, go.
You know what? I cannot make any guarantees. Look, for any DTF fans watching right now or going to be watching, let me put it to you this way. I would like to think I'm in an excellent bill of health right now. So anybody that might have any like health worries or scares, just put it to rest. As of right now, Kyle D's ready to go, and I'm probably ready to go for some time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look at Ric Flair. I mean, he's doing it in the 70s, so
yeah,
it could be done, I guess, right?
It could be.
Me, like I said, if I can get to 50 and retire at the 50, I'll take that.
If I could just make it to 50, I'll be grateful.
Yes.
All right. So now if people are DTF fans and want to see you at upcoming shows, where can they find you at?
Well, so as of right now, we're main staples, I guess you could say, within the seasons of the Sanctuary. So if you definitely want to see, as much of us as possible, the Sanctuary is your best bet. We are around at other local shows, though, whether we're helping out by other means or actually partaking in it. Smash Master Wrestling, they're, growing, and they're starting to grow all over the 570 area. And 2024, we're definitely going to start to branch out a little bit more. Like the last 2 years, we kind of only mainly been involved with places like the Sanctuary and whatnot. But we're going to go out of our way to try to spread our wings a little bit. As that happens, if you follow us on our Instagram page, Facebook page, wherever you can find us at, you'll definitely get more of that info too.
Yeah, we're very active on social media, so all you have to do is follow our pages, and anything we do is going to be on there. Like I have people ask me all the time, like, "Oh, where are you going to be wrestling at?" I'm like, "I just posted it like all over social media." Like, and what do you mean? Like, just follow the pages, and like I said, it's right there. And like Kyle said, you're always going to see us at the Sanctuary. That's our home. If it wasn't for the Sanctuary, you probably wouldn't have DTF sitting here right now. In fact, you definitely wouldn't.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to have a more active role at Smash. Like I said, a lot of them Smash guys were in VCW back in the day, so luckily I do have some of that friendship with them guys, and I love those guys. And hopefully, like I said, we get to work with them more too in the future. And then, I mean, there's other companies in Northeast PA too. Like if anybody ever wants DTF, you know, like we're not hard to find. Like we're open to going anywhere. You know, like we're not looking to get paid all this money or have these big egos. Like we just love wrestling, and like for us to come out there, hear our music, mess with your crowd. Like we're not going to walk in and like, well, we got to win and we got to do this and that. We want this. Like we're not like that. We just love wrestling. Like I said, it comes from the heart with us. So
it does.
All right. So guys, you kind of said it, but then where can they find you on social media?
Kyle, you know the page is better than I do.
Yeah, so we're probably like most active on Instagram. So if you go to down_2_fight, you can find us on Instagram, and then on Facebook, you just look up DTF, and I'm sure you're gonna find us just by looking that up.
Mm-hmm.
There is a musical group out there called DTF, but like we pop up right underneath them.
We're there.
Or an easier way, guys, you can click their links down below and just go give them a follow that way.
That is true.
And you guys were kind of saying about wrestling anywhere. I mean, if y'all are living under a rock, not you two, but anyone that's watching, Harley, Miss Over Here, is going to be a backstage correspondent for New Era Pro Wrestling. And they just announced we got a tag team on our roster. It's Junie Underwood and his tag partner. So we need someone for them to face. And who may that be? I guess y'all better go follow them to see who else is going to get released on our roster. So,
I did see that New Era stuff, and I saw some of your posts, and yeah, we know them guys. They're cool dudes, and heck, we would be there in a heartbeat. So
absolutely,
whatever.
Yep. So thank you so much for coming on. It was long overdue to have a tag team on, and guys, honestly, you are my favorite tag team currently. Don't tell anyone else that. All right.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. So everyone watching, make sure you're giving them a follow. Make sure you're obviously following, and make sure you're following New Era, because there's a lot of great stuff that's going to be released. But I will be back next week, actually with another Sanctuary star. So stay tuned for that one. And we got a female star coming on. So you got to follow on Instagram, or you're not going to know. But I hope you all have a great weekend and a great night. Until next time. Bye.
Thanks for having me.